guys, I'm Aussie Villain, and welcome back to our bid to find the best team in Major League Baseball history. Today we're in Oakland and also in Philadelphia for the Athletics to see who is going to represent this franchise against the rest of baseball. There were 4 teams that were being put forward as the potential teams, and the first semi-final was between the 1929 Philadelphia Athletics and the 1973 Oakland Athletics. Let's see who came out on top. The 1929 Philadelphia Athletics were led off by Bing Miller in center field. Jimmy Dykes at shortstop batted second. Al Simmons in left field batted third. Jimmy Fox at first base cleaned up. Mickey Cochran caught at 5. Max Bishop was second base. He batted 6. Sammy Hale at third base batted 7. Homer Suma in right field batted 8. And Lefty Grove was on the mound. And for the 1973 Oakland Athletics, Burke Camparinas at shortstop led us off. Then it was Vic Davalido in center field batting second. Joe Rudy in left field batted 3. Reggie Jackson in right field cleaned up. Sal Bando at third base batted 5. Gene Tenace at catcher batted 6. Pat Bourque at first base batted 7. Dick Green, go and see a doctor mate, batted 8 in second base. And Vida Blue was on the mound. 1 on, none out. Davalio's 2-run home run makes it 2-0 for the 73 A's. Two on, 2 out, and Suma's RBI double pulls one back. One on, 1 out, and Simmons' 2-run home run puts the 1929 A's in front. 1 on, 1 out, and Reggie Jackson's 2-run home run puts the 73 A's ahead again. One on, 2 out, Darrell Knowles on the mound, and pinch hitting Foley's RBI single ties the game. None on, 2 out, Rube Wahlberg on the mound, and Tenace crushes a solo home run to make it 5-3 to the 73 A's. None on, 2 out, Catfish Hunter on the mound, and pinch hitting LaBoureau home run ties it up again. None on, none out, Bill Shaw's on the mound, and pinch-hitting Foss hits a solo home run to walk it off for the 1973 Oakland A's. So a great game of baseball between two very evenly matched teams. The 73 side progressed through to the final. So who were they going to be facing? Well, we had the 1989 A's up against the Oakland A's, that is, up against the 1910 Philadelphia Athletics. Let's see who would be progressing on to the final out of these two. The 1989 Oakland Athletics had Stan Javier leading off in center field, Mark McGuire at first base batted second, Ricky Henderson in left field batted third, Jose Canseco in right field batted 4, Tony Phillips at third base batted 5, Tony Steinbach at catcher was 6, Walt Weiss was shortstopping at 7, Mike Gallego at second base batted 8, and Mike Moore was on the mound. And the 1910 Philadelphia Athletics had Stuffy McInnes at first base leading off, Frank Baker at third base batted second, Ellie Collins at second base batted third, Denny Murphy in right field batted 4, Briss Lord in left field batted 5, Amos Strunk at center field batted 6, it was Jack Barry shortstopping at 7, Ira Thomas caught at 8, and Charles Bender was on the mound. 1 on, 1 out, and Murphy's RBI triple opens the scoring for the 1910 Athletics. 3 on, 1 out, and Baker draws a walk, scoring a run to make it 2-0. 3 on, 1 out, and a wild pitch scores another. 2 on, 1 out, and Collins' RBI single makes it 4-0. 2 on, 1 out, Rick Honeycutt on the mound, and Murphy's sac fly makes it 5-0 for the 1910 Athletics. 1 on, none out, Eddie Plank on the mound, and pinch hitting David Henderson's RBI single gets the 89 A's on the board. 3 on, 1 out, and Canseco is hit, scoring a run. 3 on, 2 out, Gene Nelson on the mound, and relief pitcher Combs 2 RBI single makes it 7-2. 1 on, 1 out. Jack Combs on the mound, and Canseco hits into a double play to end the game. So a less great game of baseball, this one. It was a dominant win from the 1910 Athletics. In truth, they were two very evenly matched sides. It's a shame in a way that the 89 side, there was some great, well, not great names. There were some good players. The great names were definitely in the 1910 side, weren't they? So that leaves us with 73 versus 1910, Oakland versus Philly. And let's have a quick look here. So the 73 side went 94 and 68 in their regular season, 102 and 48. For the 1910 side. So again, if you're new, this is a one-off game between these two teams. We default to modern era strategy, and we have disabled injuries and World Series rosters if available. So let's go and check out these rosters. And we can see them here with their season stats for their particular season. And yeah, well, it's going to be a very, very interesting game. I've got to say, these are two pretty good teams. So I'm really interested to see who it is that comes out on top. So let's go check the lineup, see who's going to be playing. And leading off the 1973 Athletics will be Bert Camparinas. If I've obviously mispronounced that, it feels like. He will be at shortstop. Vic Davalio will be at center field batting second. Joe Rudy, that's more like it, I can say that, will be in left field batting third. Reggie Jackson cleaning up in right field. Sal Bando at third base bats 5. Gene Tennis, and he smacked one, didn't he, in the semi-final, will be batting 6 at catcher. Pat Burquay at first base bats 7. Dick Green. Just one thing. If your surname is something like Green, if there are any Greens watching, don't call your son Dick. It's just not right. So he bats 8 in at second base. And Vida Blue. So we've got Green and Blue to round out the order. He is on the mound. And then for the Philadelphia 1910 side, it is Frank Baker leading off. This is a bit of a change from the semi-final then. He leads off at third base. Briss Lord in left field bats 2. Eddie Collins is at 3, batting at 3, playing second. Denny Murphy, and he had some attributes on him. He is cleaning up in right field. Stuffy McInnes, what a name, at first base bats 5. Amos Strunk in center field bats 6. Jack Barry at shortstop bats 7. Ira Thomas at catcher is batting 8, and Charles Bender is on the mound for this one. So here we go. Big thank you to all my Patreon and channel members as they scroll across the bottom there. If you are interested, there's a link in the description for all that stuff. If you enjoy the content and you are able to and want to support the channel in that way. And Camparinas has started us off with a single into right field. Now this is of course the last of the American League side of the draw. We will know everybody that is going to be in the knockout rounds when this episode is finished. As Davalio gets one back behind, and it'll be a 2-2 pitch, and that is a good piece of hitting into center field. Will it get the runner over to third? He was quick, and it looks like he's going to get there. Is a yes. So runners at the corners, none out for the 73 side, and Joe Rudy to the plate. First pitch, Rudy, that could be a double play. It will open the scoring. It won't be an RBI, obviously, so there'll be 2 out, none on, but crucially, perhaps, a run across the plate. And Reggie Jackson, speaking of the plate, that's where he is now. It's a full count. And he has popped it up. Is it going to go into foul territory? It is. And that'll do it for the top of the first. So the 73 Oakland Athletics have a lead. But it probably could have been more, couldn't it? Baker will lead them off. It's a 1-2 pitch. And Baker has hit that very well. That ball... it might well land in 1910. It was absolutely belted. And the lead didn't last long. 461 feet. And still going, apparently. So, there we go. We're level very, very quickly. In comes Briss Lord. A 2-1 pitch. Lord has grounded it to the third baseman. That'll be out at first. I'm in a cough here. Excuse me. So that is one away. Eddie Collins comes up now. A full count. Collins draws a walk. So 1 on, 1 out for Denny Murphy. First pitch. Murphy hits it well into center field. Oh, but it's a good piece of defensive play out there by Davalio. I think that would be Davalio. I think that's how you would say that. Stuffy McInnes, I'm going to say already one of my favorites. He has sent that straight up, and with 2 out already, that will end the inning, and we will be tied at 1 going into the second. Yeah, these athletic sides actually, between the four of them, probably with the exception of maybe the Yankees, I think it's the strongest across the board that we've seen so far in terms of semi-finals and sort of the preliminary get to the final games. That, I mean, obviously you guys I just show you the highlights and the runs that are scored basically. But yeah, they were very, very evenly matched sides, and yeah, I think that, like I said, the '89 side, hits and all that were roughly even. If you could, would have seen it from the box scores here. It was really just that one inning where the 1910 side got the 4 runs, and that was more or less the difference. Did he catch that? That's a good catch if he did, and that'll do it for the top of the second. Amos Strunk, having made a cracking catch in centre field, will lead off the second inning and will get it into right field for a single. So a nice 5-minute spell for Amos there. And Jack Barry will come in now. A 2-1. He has, what have we done there? He's squared up to bunt and had a second thought about it. A 3-1. He's laid down a bunt there to third base, and that'll get the runner over to second with 1 away. And it'll bring up Ira Thomas now. 2-1. Thomas back to the pitcher, and that will be an unproductive out, as the runner will stay at second. And it'll be Charles Bender, the pitcher now. A 1-2 pitch. He watches it, and that'll do it for the second. So it is 1 run apiece, 2 hits apiece, going into the third. Dick Green. A 2-1. I still think, when with names where you have like an adjective or a noun, they're the danger ones, aren't they? Adjectives or nouns as last names. But I still think the greatest nickname, or maybe not the greatest, but certainly one of the great ones, sort of a friend of a friend back home in Australia, their last name was Hyman, and his nickname was Buster. So thankfully his parents didn't call him that. But yeah, when you have those adjectives or nouns, they're dangerous. As that is into left field. Is it going to score a run? We're certainly rounding, we're going, and we get there. So the 73 A's have a lead. Bert Camporinus. Anyway, he's driven in the run. It's DeValio now, a 2-0 pitch. And that is, lined. I thought for a second that it was getting over second base, but no such luck. So 2-out runner at first for Joe Rudy. He hit into the double play last time up, of course, which did technically drive in a run. But he strikes out there, and it will end the inning. So it'll be Frank Baker to lead it off. Absolutely crushed the ball first time up, didn't he? It's a 1-2 pitch. And he has grounded that to the shortstop, and that'll be 1 away. That was one of those, there's 2 strikes on me, I have to swing at this. It was a good pitch, wasn't it? And that is unfortunately lined straight to the third baseman, so that'll be 2 down. And Eddie Collins to the plate, who I think walked last time up, didn't he? Or was it a sac fly? I can't remember now. Anyway, he strikes out there, and that'll do it for the third. So we'll go to the fourth. The 73 Oakland A's have a lead, and Reggie Jackson will lead off the inning. He is 0 for 1, and it's a full count. Reggie Jackson has hit that very, very well indeed. Is it going to be further than the 461 feet? I don't know that it is. It's a $50 cab ride home. It's 440 feet, so not quite the longest, but it certainly cleared the fence with some room to spare, didn't it? So it is 3-1 now. Reggie Jackson comes up big for his side, and Sal Bando will step into the batter's box. And the rain is becoming heavy. We're going to have a rain delay. It lasted 18 minutes. I mean, why? We're playing an exhibition game. I don't understand why the game feels the need to put rain in there. But anyway, Bando grounds it out, so that's 1 away. We've got Tennis to the plate now. Tennis. Anyway, a 3-0 pitch. He has a 4-pitch walk, so 1 out, 1 on for Pat Burque. And a full count ends in a strikeout on this occasion, so that is 2 away for Dick Green to come up to the plate. He is 1 for 1. Full count on him. And Green watches strike 3 to end the fourth. But 3-1 is the lead now for the 73 side. Denny Murphy will lead off the 1910s. And it's a first pitch swing. And Murphy grounds it to the second baseman for 1 away. In comes Stuffy McGinnis. I think it's mostly baseball names that are the really good ones, aren't they? I think there's probably some good old American football names. But ice hockey wouldn't really have been a thing back in the like 20s and whatnot. I wouldn't have thought. Was it maybe in Canada or the northern states of the US? as Stuffy is at second. But yeah, I don't even know if it's just American. It is probably just American, isn't it? Because I mean, English people wouldn't really have those sorts of names. I wouldn't have thought back then. Maybe some of the working class people. I don't think it was really a thing in Australia at the time, as we have runners at the corners with 108. But yeah, some of the old American names are just, or baseball names, I should say, more so than American names, as that's a sac fly that's going to pull one back. So it is now 3-2. But yeah, it's one of the highlights for me doing this has been just discovering some of the names, like Goose Goslin. What a great name. Stuffy McGuinness. There's so many. There's just so many. Vida Blue now. One thing that if you're wondering why there is the pitchers batting here, to sort of even out the playing field across eras and across leagues, there's just no designated hitters. So that's hopefully, because we are playing modern era strategy as a default, again, to try and keep things even, to try and get the older teams a little bit more level than obviously pitchers back then were hitting. So it just kind of levels the playing field a little bit. And I think it's working out okay. If you are new to the series, we've sort of gone through the rest of, or not all of the American League teams. Some American League teams only have really had one team worthy of putting forward. But I think we've had a pretty good mix of eras that have won their way through. So I think that is it's kind of as I was hoping it would be, where we had a nice mixture, and there wasn't sort of one era that was getting favoured by the I guess the rules that we're playing by. So yeah, that's a big positive for me, that one. As Briss, wasn't it? Briss Lord gets himself a 2-out single. So runner at first, 2 out. Eddie Collins at the plate, representing the go-ahead run. A full count, strikes out, ends the inning. So we'll go to the 6th. The 1973 Oakland A's have a 1-run lead. Joe Rudy will lead it off. Bender is still going on the mound. He didn't last that long in the semi-final, but he's having a much better outing here. A 1-2 pitch, and that is hit into center field. It is deep. It is over center field. Or is it? What's happened there? No, it is over center field. We can see an inside the park home run here. I think we might be. He's going for it, and Rudy! An inside the park home run. That's the second we've seen in this series so far in terms of inside the park home runs. It is now 4-2. And Reggie Jackson will face Eddie Plank, who is the new man on the mound. It is a 2-1 pitch. And Reggie has popped it up into left field, so that'll be 1 away. And it'll bring up Sal Bando, who is 0 for 2. It is also an 0-2 pitch. And Sal Bando is now 0 for 3. In comes Tennis. He is 0 for as well. It's an 0-2 pitch. And he strikes out to end the top of the 6th. But an inside the park home run makes it 4-2. And the 1910 side have work to do. Denny Murphy will lead off the inning. Vida Blue, who also didn't last very long in the semi-final, it must be said. In fact, I don't think he batted in that game. I don't think either of these pitchers batted, actually. But anyway, he's got a pop up there. That's 1 away. And that'll do it for him now. There's the kiss of death, isn't it? Holtzman will be the new man on the mound. Stuffy McGuinness at the plate. He is 1 for 2, his old Stuffy. And the 2-2 pitch is grounded to Dick Green at second base. And that'll do it. 2 away. And Amos Strunk will come in 1 for 1 today. A 2-2 pitch. 2 out. None on. And that is well hit into left field. It is now 4-3. So Strunk with a opposite field solo home run. It's 409 feet deep. And we're back to a 1-run game. In comes Jack Barry now, who is 0 for 0 with an RBI. I think he had a sac fly out to right field at one point, didn't he? As he's got that one into left field. So Barry has himself a 2-out single. So tying run on board. Go ahead run at the plate in Ira Thomas. He is 0 for 2. It's a 3-1 pitch. Thomas grounds it to the second baseman. And that'll do it for that inning. It is still 4-3. And we'll go to the 7th. Borque. I think it's one of those names I'm going to pronounce it differently every time, isn't it? It's a 1-2 pitch. And it is a strikeout for 1 away. It is Dick Green. He is 1 for 2. It's a 1-0. And Green has hit that really well into the left centre field gap. It'll be at least a double. And he will stand at second. So, can the 73As extend their lead out to more than one run? It is Ray Foss who walked it off for them in the semi-final. He pinch hits here. And has he done it again? Foss, it is! No, it's not going to leave, but it is finding the gap out there in left centre field. It drives in a run. He's going for third, and Foss gets to third. So, an RBI triple. Foss is proving to be a bit of a hero for the 73As. It is 5-3 with a runner at third, one away, and Camperinis is being walked to first, bringing up Davalio, who is 1 for 3. It's a 2-1 pitch. Davalio, oh, that could be a double play, and it will end the inning. So we will stretch the 73 Oakland Athletics 5-3 to the good. Alright, welcome back. We have another pinch hitter. It is Harry Davis facing Holtzman, who continues on the mound. And I don't think we saw Davis in the semi-final. He's grounded that first pitch to the first baseman, though, so that is 1 away. It'll bring up Baker, who is 1 for 3. Of course, started off his game in style. Not done much since then. And that will continue as he grounds it out for 2 away. And in will come Briss Lord, who is 1 for 3. It's a 2-2 pitch. 2 out, none on. And that will do it for the bottom of the 7th. The 73As still have a 2-run lead. And it'll be Joe Rudy to face Harry Kraus on the mound. Rudy, of course, with a sensational inside the park home run. This time it's an 0-2 pitch. And that will do it for that. So he is out. It brings Reggie Jackson back up. He's 1 for 3 with one of those being a home run. Or the one being a home run. He was nowhere near that one though. So that's 2 away for Sal Bando. He is 0 for 3. Full count. And Bando back to the pitcher. And that'll do it for the top of the 8th. Alright, Holtzman continues to Eddie Collins, who is 0 for 2. It's a 2-2 pitch. And Collins watches it for strike 3. 1 away. In comes Denny Murphy, who's 0 for 3. It's a 1-0. Denny Murphy was quite good in the semi-final. He has been less good here. As he pops it up into centre field for 2 away. And it brings Stuffy McGinnis up. Is this the last time we'll see old Stuffy? It's a 1-0 pitch. And he has grounded that to the shortstop. And we will go to the 9th. The 1910 Philadelphia Athletics are going to need runs. Can the 73 side pad the lead? It is Daron Johnson coming in to pinch hit. It's a full count. And Johnson into right field will be caught for 1 away. In comes Pat Bourque, who is 0 for 3. It is a full count. And he gets that into left field where he will be caught. Nicely caught by Lord. And that is 2 away for Dick Green. It's a 1-1 pitch. He's 2 for 3. And he's hit that into centre field to end the top of the 9th. So, can the 73 side close this out? Or will the 1910 Philly Athletics get it back? It is Rolly Fingers. I mean, with a name like Fingers, you have to be very, very careful, don't you? Strunk will lead it off. He is, it's a 1-2 pitch. He strikes out. And that will be 1 away. It brings Jack Barry to the plate. He is 1 for 1 with an RBI. It's a 1-1 pitch. And that is hit into right field. Popped up, in fact. So Rolly Fingers is getting the job done. And it is Topsy... I love these names. Topsy Hartzell comes in to pinch hit. Is he going to be able to keep the game going, or is this the end for the 1910 Philadelphia Athletics? It might be the end. It's into centre field. It's going to be caught. And the 1973 Oakland Athletics will be moving on to represent the franchise against the rest of baseball. So pretty good game, that one, it has to be said. Enjoyed that. And, well, we can see here all the American League teams. We'll have a draw for it once we wrap up the National League side of things. And that will be next episode, of course. It will be the Atlanta Braves. Now, they've had, in my sort of time watching baseball, some very good teams. So it'll be interesting to see which of the, the history of their franchise comes out on top there. But yeah, of those American League teams, let me know which one. I know the Brooklyn Dodgers are just sort of making up numbers there, but let me know which one you think is your favorite to come out on top. I tell you, if I had to pick a semi-final now, I'd say well, the best four anyway. I'd say Yankees, Boston, probably Detroit, and Oakland would be my favorite. There's a couple there that were sort of automatic picks we haven't seen yet, and they're going to be interesting to see when they get into action, aren't they? But if you've enjoyed that, thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you next time in Atlanta. Take care.